Victoria Ashworth had buried herself in work for 3 years, ever since her world shattered on a rainy Tuesday morning when the call came from the hospital. Her investment firm demanded 18-hour days, and she gladly gave them, because silence in boardrooms was easier than silence at home. At 41, Victoria carried her grief in the rigid set of her shoulders and the way she avoided looking at family photographs. Her auburn hair was always perfectly styled, her business suits impeccable, but those who looked closely could see the exhaustion behind her green eyes. The problem was 8-year-old Isabella. Bella, with her mother's dark curls and her father's stubborn chin, had been through 7 housekeepers in 2 years. They never lasted more than a few weeks. Mrs. Henderson quit after Bella put salt in her coffee every morning for a week. Miss Taylor left when she found her car keys frozen in a block of ice. The agency was running out of candidates willing to work for the Ashworth family. "She's impossible," Victoria told her assistant Margaret as they reviewed resumes in her corner office. "Bella seems to take pleasure in making these women miserable." Margaret, who had worked for Victoria for 15 years, chose her words carefully. "Perhaps she's just testing them, Mrs. Ashworth. Children sometimes act out when they're—" "Don't." Victoria's voice cut through the air. "Don't analyze my daughter. Just find someone who can handle her behavior." But even Victoria couldn't ignore the reports anymore. Bella's teacher, Mrs. Collins, had called 3 times this month. Bella was withdrawn in class, aggressive with classmates, and her grades were slipping. The school counselor used words like concerning and intervention. Deep down, Victoria knew the truth she couldn't bear to face. Bella wasn't just grieving her mother. She was grieving the loss of the father who had disappeared into work and left her essentially orphaned in her own home. Rosa Martinez was 53 years old and had been cleaning houses for 27 years. She had raised 5 children of her own, weathered a difficult divorce, and buried both her parents with grace and dignity. Her graying hair was always pulled back in a neat bun, and her kind brown eyes had seen enough of life to understand that behavior was often just pain wearing a disguise. When the employment agency called about the Ashworth position, Rosa's friends warned her off. "That little girl is a terror," said Carmen, who cleaned for 3 other families in the same neighborhood. "She's made grown women cry, Rosa. Why put yourself through that?" But Rosa had seen the newspaper photos from 3 years ago. She remembered the tragic accident, the young mother who died too soon, and the shell-shocked widower left to raise his daughter alone. She also remembered being 8 years old herself, angry at the world when her own father left, not through death, but through choice. "Sometimes," Rosa told Carmen, "the children who are hardest to love are the ones who need it most." Rosa's first day at the Ashworth mansion was a Tuesday. The house was magnificent: marble floors, crystal chandeliers, rooms that could hold Rosa's entire apartment. But it felt cold, like a beautiful museum where people were afraid to touch anything. Bella appeared at the top of the curved staircase like a dark angel in her private school uniform, studying Rosa with calculating eyes. "You won't last a week," Bella announced, her voice carrying the certainty of someone who had been proven right 7 times before. "Probably not," Rosa agreed cheerfully, hanging up her coat. "I've never been very good at lasting places where I'm not wanted." Bella blinked, clearly not expecting that response. "But I'm here today," Rosa continued, "so we might as well make the best of it. What do you usually do when you get home from school?" "Hide in my room until Victoria gets home at 9 o'clock. Rosa noticed immediately that Bella called her mother by her first name, creating distance even in language. "That sounds lonely. What do you do for fun?" Bella shrugged. "Nothing is fun anymore." The honesty of it broke Rosa's heart, but she kept her voice light. "Well, I brought cookies, chocolate chip. They're in the kitchen if you want some while you do homework." "I don't do homework." "That's okay. More cookies for me." Rosa spent that first afternoon doing what she always did, cleaning with quiet efficiency while humming old songs under her breath. She paid no attention to Bella's attempts to provoke her, treating the child's rudeness as if it were weather, something unpleasant but temporary. When Bella appeared in the kitchen an hour later, clearly expecting to find Rosa frustrated or upset, she found her instead making fresh bread and singing softly in Spanish. "What are you doing?" "Making tomorrow's lunch. Your mother mentioned you don't like the cafeteria food at school. Victoria doesn't know what I like. She's never home. Then maybe you can tell me what you like, and I'll make sure there's some of it around." Bella sat at the kitchen island, suspicious but curious. "Why are you being nice to me? The others always started off nice too, but they got mean when I didn't behave." Rosa turned to face her fully. "Bella, can I tell you something? When I was your age, my papa left our family. Just packed up one day and moved across the country. I was so angry I made everyone around me miserable. My mama, my teachers, my little brother. I took all my hurt and threw it at them like rocks." Bella's defiance wavered slightly. "What happened?" "My abuela, my grandmother, came to live with us, and you know what she told me? She said, 'Rosa, your heart is broken, and broken hearts make us do broken things, but throwing rocks at people who care about you just breaks their hearts, too. Then everyone is walking around broken and nobody can help anybody.'" "Did you stop being mean?" "Not right away. It took time. But Abuela never gave up on me even when I gave her every reason to. And eventually, I learned that being loved was better than being angry." Bella was quiet for a long moment. "My mom doesn't love me anymore, not since Mama died." Rosa's heart clenched. In Bella's simple words was a world of pain, the death of her mother, and the emotional absence of the parent she had left. "Oh, sweetheart. Your mama, Victoria, she loves you more than anything in this world. But sometimes when people are hurt really badly, they forget how to show love. It's like love is a language, and grief made her forget how to speak it. Then why doesn't she try to remember? Maybe she's afraid. Sometimes when you lose someone you love, you get scared to love again, because it might hurt just as much to lose it." That evening, when Victoria came home at her usual 9 o'clock, she found something that stopped her in her tracks. Rosa and Bella were in the living room. Bella curled up on the sofa with her head in Rosa's lap, while Rosa braided her hair and told stories about her own children. For the first time in 3 years, Bella looked peaceful. "How was your day?" Victoria asked carefully, expecting the usual litany of complaints about the new housekeeper. "Rosa makes good cookies," Bella said simply. "And she knows how to braid hair the way Mama used to." Victoria felt something crack, open in her chest. She had to excuse herself and cry in her study for 10 minutes before she could compose herself enough to say goodnight. The next morning, Victoria found Rosa in the kitchen early, packing Bella's lunch with the same care she might use for her own child. "Mrs. Martinez, about yesterday. Rosa, please." "Rosa, I want to thank you. I haven't seen Bella look that calm in a very long time." Rosa paused in her work. "She's a good child, Mrs. Ashworth. She's just carrying too much sadness for someone so small." Victoria sat down at the kitchen table, looking suddenly fragile despite her expensive suit. "I don't know how to help her. I don't even know how to help myself most days." "May I ask you something? When was the last time you and Bella did something together? Just the two of you?" Victoria thought about it and realized with horror that she couldn't remember. Work has been very demanding. The company will survive without you for one evening. Bella won't survive much longer without her mama." The words were gentle but firm, spoken with the authority of someone who understood both loss and healing. That Saturday, for the first time in 3 years, Victoria came downstairs in jeans instead of a business suit. She found Rosa teaching Bella how to make empanadas in the kitchen, flour dusting both their aprons. "Can I help?" Victoria asked hesitantly. Rosa smiled. Of course. Bella, show your mama how to fold the dough. What followed was the most natural afternoon the house had seen since tragedy struck. They cooked together, laughed when Victoria burned her first attempt, and sat down to eat homemade food at the kitchen table instead of Victoria grabbing takeout in her study. These are really good, Mom, Bella said, and Victoria's heart nearly stopped. It was the first time Bella had called her Mom instead of Victoria in over a year. Rosa taught us well, Victoria managed, her voice thick with emotion. Over the following weeks, Rosa worked a quiet magic in the Ashworth house. She didn't just clean and cook. She created space for healing. She encouraged Victoria to come home earlier, suggested family activities, and gently redirected conversations when they veered toward old wounds. Most importantly, she never tried to replace Bella's mother's memory. Instead, she honored it. Your mama sounds like she was an amazing woman, Rosa would say when Bella shared memories. I wish I could have met her. She raised you to be so smart and kind. 3 months later, Victoria made a decision that surprised even her. She promoted her second-in-command to CEO and moved herself to a consulting role that would allow her to work from home 3 days a week. I can't get back the 3 years I lost, she told Rosa as they watched Bella play in the garden. But I won't lose any more. She's going to be okay, Rosa said quietly. You both are. Because of you. Rosa, I don't know how to thank you for giving me back my daughter. You don't need to thank me. You just need to keep showing up. That's all any child really wants, for their parents to show up. A year later, at Bella's 9th birthday party, Victoria looked around at the scene Rosa had helped orchestrate. The house was full of laughter, Bella's classmates running through rooms that had once felt like a mausoleum, and Bella herself glowing with the confidence of a child who knew she was loved. Rosa, Victoria said, finding her in the kitchen putting finishing touches on the birthday cake, I have something to ask you. Of course. Bella and I were talking and we were wondering, how would you feel about not being our housekeeper anymore? Rosa's face fell. Did I do something wrong? No. I'm asking if you'd like to be family instead, officially. We'd like to know if you'd consider letting us adopt you as Bella's grandmother. She needs one, I need a mother figure, and you saved us both. Rosa sat down heavily, tears streaming down her face. I have 5 children of my own, you know. Then we'd be honored to be your 6th and 7th. 2 years later, Rosa Martinez Ashworth sat in the front row at Bella's middle school graduation, beaming with pride as her granddaughter gave a speech about resilience and the power of chosen family. Bella had grown into a confident, compassionate young woman who volunteered at the local children's hospital and started a grief support group for kids who had lost parents. None of the other housekeepers could handle me, Bella said in her speech, looking directly at Rosa. But my abuela didn't try to handle me. She just loved me until I remembered how to love myself. After the ceremony, as they walked to the car, together, 3 generations of women who had chosen each other, Bella took Rosa's hand. Abuela, why did you stay when all the others left? Rosa squeezed her granddaughter's hand. Because, mi amor, sometimes the most impossible thing isn't changing someone's behavior. Sometimes the most impossible thing is just loving them exactly as they are, long enough for them to remember who they were meant to be. And in that moment, Victoria understood that the impossible thing Rosa had done wasn't taming a difficult child. It was healing a broken family by showing them that love doesn't require perfection. It just requires presence.